Hi! Today we are going to make a glass bottle planter. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start out and we're going to take off the label. This bottle is a Martinelli's sparkling cider, so the label is paper. Some labels will be plastic and that'll be an issue. But this one, what I'm using is hot water and soap and foil, and I am just scrubbing off the label. You can see here that there's still some of those sticky lines, but this foil is going to take it off really well, so the glue is completely gone. And that's what you want, because you don't want a bottle with a whole bunch of lines in it, because that's not nice and it's not very pretty. It just looks dirty. So this takes me a while, and that's why it's all sped up. Hazel is doing her token helping too, fighting off a lion, as you can see in the background. Now I've gotten one label off, and you can see how smooth it is and how well the foil did. Hazel approves. And now it is all off. Thank you, Hazel. That's good information. Alright, so now let's get the baby's approval. And she approves. Okay, so moving on to the next thing, I am cutting our bottle, and my bottle cutter only goes to about 1 inch or 2 inches as its smallest. So I've taken this tape and I've put it around the bottle so that I have a line as my guide. And you really want to get a straight, clean line, otherwise you end up with a bottle chipping in all different directions and you don't get that smooth top finish that you may want. So that's an issue. So here it is, pretty clean. We'll show you it again without the tape in just a second, but it looks pretty good. So this is how it is. It's going all the way around, very nice and clean. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna dip it in hot water. Boiling, I learned, is better, and I'm still learning in this and practicing, so that's why I gotta add that. So boiled water, and then to the right in the sink I have cold water with even ice in it. And here you see that we have a little crack already starting, so hopefully that one will start off, or not start off, but end clean. And you guys, this process took a while, so you just got to be patient, but it is really fun. It's kind of like playing like hot potato or musical chairs, when you like never really know which one it's going to end in. And so you just go back and forth and back and forth, and it keeps cracking. And here we have a pretty clean line. It's hard to see because it's blurry, but there it is. And so back in the hot water it'll go. And I think I only showed it 3 times, but I did it way more than that. So here it is. You got to make sure your bottle's all the way heated evenly, and there we go. It popped off, and that is one of the cleanest lines I have ever done. But like I said, I need practice, so you could be better at it than me. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking my tape and I'm going along the edges, and the reason I'm doing this is because there still may be some little like slivers, and when you're working on it you really don't want those in your bottle, because you don't want to get glass in your hands or feet or wherever your cut bottle may be. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the tape and we're going along to get those little slivers off, and I found this to be a really good way to pick up the pieces you can't even see. Now we're gonna sand it for basically the same reason. This will just get any sharp edges down, and I didn't have too many, but because I have a little Hazel Basil running around and helping me with my projects, I just wanted to be sure. And this is another thing you need to take your time on, because if you do it too fast, you'll miss things, or it won't be as smooth as you could get it. And if you're going to be when you plant in it, you want it to be nice and smooth. So now that we are done sanding it, we're going to wrap our twine around it. And this took me a while because of my guest star, who was so helpful in this. But just to get back to the project, what I am doing is I'm just taking it real easy, and I'm taking both pieces of twine that I have, and I am wrapping it around each side of the bottle, trading back and forth, and I'm just doing one simple knot tie that everybody knows, and looping it through and then pulling it tight close to the bottle. That makes it easy. I've only used 2 pieces of twine. This particular twine actually came from hay bales, so obviously do what twine you have around the house, or if you went and bought twine, it really doesn't matter. But this is plastic, and then I'm reusing just stuff around the house, and it's not just going towards anything like the trash. I really like the, like, what's it called? I don't know. It's more like rope, but eventually when you're doing watering and stuff, if that gets wet, it can break eventually, and I don't know. It's a preference, so I think it's fine. I would do it if I had it, but right now I don't. There's my lovely little helper with her tape. That's clearly a necessity. So that she doesn't tie unwanted knots. So here I'm doing our last knot, and then after this I'm going to tie up the ends, kind of do a little bit of a macrame, but I'll use a friendship bracelet knot. And so I've done one side, and I'll show you close up real quick how that looks. And I like how it spins all the way around. That was a goal of mine. It turned out a lot shorter than I meant it to. But here's how to do it, and it's going to be funky how I explain, because I'm going to be explaining from my point of view. But what you do is you take your twine or thread or whatever you're doing it with, and you're going to make a D shape with the curved twine over the straight one, and then you're going to put it right under and pull it towards whatever you're working on. And then you're just going to repeat that basically until your twine, your top twine, ends up underneath your bottom one. Then you just flip it and do the other side. And that's what I've done. So I'll show you a couple here so that you can see it. You can back up and redo it so that you see how to do it. Or if you know how to do macrame, obviously you have that extra twine, you can do that. Yeah, so there's our couple good ones, so you can see I'm starting to get the twist there. And doing my last one, you see how it's starting to make a music note? That's close to when you start flipping it, but it's a personal preference. And here we're done. Next thing we need to do is make loops so you can actually hang up your bottle. This is real easy. You're just going to fold it in half or whatever length you're going to want it. I'm going to eventually hang it on a wire, so I'm doing mine kind of short. And then I loop mine through twice because that just makes it a little bit stronger, and it gives it a larger knot so it looks good in proportion to the friendship bracelet design I did below. And here it is again. Do it twice, pull it through, make sure they're even, and that's a really easy knot to undo. So if you have to undo it and redo it, it's not difficult. So don't worry about not getting it even on the first try. All right, so that's it. Commentary with me and our guest star Hazel Boo. Yeah. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. No, we're doing good things. Like and subscribe, and I will have a video up next week. Thanks. Bye.